So this is your reference. Are you seeing your reference right now, your reference frame?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so let's start at the beginning. This first frame is working really well in terms of the light that's hitting the guy. So you've got some sort of lamp, key light source hitting him, and he looks a little bit upset, and you can see in his eyes it's quite expressive of that emotion. And we see her standing by the doorway, and she's getting a little bit of that warm light kind of there. Is that correct? She's getting
Uh,
sort of that warm light
I
there.
think the. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether that that additional light on her could come up. So um, whether you could.
What are you wondering about? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether you could maybe bring her up like this. You can see how she's getting more of the key at the moment.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Certainly.
this is too much, but I'm wondering whether maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I get the idea.
Yeah, and this shadow here could be from the doorway, and you could like maybe light her up with just a tad, something
Okay.
like that.
Would it be okay to have her whole face lit? Because I think that the lamp that is lighting her now
Hmm.
lit her whole front side, but I can certainly make it to so that it's only hitting his left side or her left side. But
Yeah, try
yeah.
both. I mean, your idea might work better. I mean, it may be that let's 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 try bring her up um, globally. So you're thinking maybe something like that.
Yes, at least this is how
Hmm.
the setup would light her right now, but I can make it happen both ways, of course. But I think I like your idea better. It's more interesting.
Let's see. Yeah, just like just a little bit of her face, just so you keep the interest. You keep the interest more on his face, and you see a little hint of her initially, and then I feel like as we get to here, I can see that some of this warm light is starting to kind of wash over her on this side, yeah?
Yes.
And that's feeling really nice. I'm wondering whether you could maybe bring it up a little bit like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we get to here, yeah, maybe a little bit more on her, just so that it gives us the pretext for when she turns. And I feel this is kind of this third keyframe that you sent is kind of a very important frame. And I think at this point, we want that key on her.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just show you what I mean. see if I can bring this up. This is very rough and not precise, but
But I see what you mean. Yes,
uh,
bringing up the key light on her mainly.
exactly, yeah. So we want we want the kind of the attention on her, and if you could, and it could just be a cheat light, like you could at this point, you know, cheat a light that just hits her face along here, and also we get, if we could get some kind of highlight on her eye, maybe on that side, from this light, or you know, from
Okay.
another cheat light, that would be really good because we want to read the intensity on her face at this point. And he can, you know, his expression could be, if she's warm, you know, if she's red and angry,
Oh.
like here, maybe he can be even, you know, he can be bluer here. So if you could maybe exaggerate that blue light on him a little bit
Oh, I
more,
see.
so that we see this kind of opposite, this kind of reaction to it. You know, um, he's surprised by how upset she is, and so maybe you could light him with a color that is, I guess, a little bit opposite to her, how she's feeling. You know, like a cooler light that
Keeping
you
it
have.
complementary.
Sorry.
Keeping it complementary.
Yeah. So yeah, so maybe the blue on him could come up a little bit. So that, you know, you could read his expression a little bit more clearly. And this could be, yeah, like a cooler light. And on her we have, you know, the warmer.
Yeah, from the opposite direction.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a really critical moment. So I think you should spend a lot of time at this point here.
All right, I see.
And do you have like another, it's like
Yes,
it looks
the
like a neutral.
rim on.
Yeah, this rim on her, is it coming from over here?
Yes, you've almost exactly spotted it where it's coming from. It's two area lights. Yes, coming from a screen right.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Maybe that could come up a little bit like that. as we, as the viewer's attention starts to focus on her, we want to start to give her more light. And here, yeah, she doesn't need that much. I think maybe, yeah, a little bit of that warmish light. And she can kind of, I like how you've got there where she's kind of mostly in the darkness, and that's actually working really well. You could maybe, yeah, just have just a little bit of light on her face there, like
Okay.
that, because I understand that, you know, initially you want to get you want to draw attention more on, you know, what he's doing. I'll just play the video again.
There is no us if you keep shutting me out! What, you think you just tattoo my initial on your hand and that's it? Job done.
Naz, please. Everything I'm trying to do, okay, it is for us.
There is no us if you keep shutting me out! What, you think you just tattoo my initial on your hand and that's it? Job done.
Naz, please. Everything I'm trying to do, okay, it is for us.
There is no us if you keep shutting me out! What, you think you just...
Yeah, so I feel like it's working pretty well in general.
Thank you.
And I think just at the end there, focus your attention on the end and getting, you know, that read on her face as she's, you know, telling him that he's shutting her out, and getting that warm light on her face there. And then, you know, and then maybe some cooler light to bring up the exposure on his face a little bit, just so you can read it.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
yeah, this is what I found really. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that should be your main focus. Is this kind of towards the end of the shot, because I feel like the beginning, you know, in the middle, you've pretty much, you've got it set up pretty well. It's just fine tuning the lighting and the exposure. But at the end, yeah, you really need their faces to read, because it's, they're both quite dark at the end. So,
yes, my original intention was to have it contrast the warm background, but yes, I can see how it's getting really flat compared to the other shots, or the other parts of the shots.
Yeah, it just needs that extra light on their faces.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
No, I thank you.
Thanks, Ronald. And Jenty, are you online?
I'm online, yeah. I'm all bummed out. I lost the program. I lost what I was working on.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I have to redo it. It's my fault. I thought that I auto-saved it, but clearly I didn't, and I've looked everywhere. So I have to, I'm just downloading the file again. I'll just have to redo it. But from the things that you've taught me and showed me previously, I have a better idea on how to write it.
I don't think it'd take you long to restart it. So I'm just A/B-ing between the original and your update. And so I see you've added the like a sunlight or some sort of warm rim from behind. And have you added like a kind of a cool kind of fill light from this side as well, or?
I did a cool fill light, and you've suggested to bring the light down a notch, which I did, and a warm key light on the left screen.
Yep.
I did that,
So
and you also suggested warm tree left of screen and cool on the right tree.
yeah, so I think
So
in
yeah,
general, I think in general, I think I'd like to see if you could maybe bring down just the fill just a bit more, like even like here,
okay, yeah, yeah,
like this, so that let me bring up. I think you had a yeah, you had like a reference. Yeah, you see how in the
okay,
Jay
reference
said,
right, right. I see that.
you see this kind of core where it goes darker like that.
Hmm.
I'd like you to try and get that here in your character. So kind of, I know it gets all saturated, but try and get this fill down so that you can start to read, you can start to read the key light more. So when
Okay.
you bring that down, actually, let me try.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you bring that down, this will read, that warm light will read more, and also this cool rim will read more.
Mm. Yeah. Yep.
And the background also, if you could, bring it down and try and get, some more of those warm hits onto the trees here,
Oh, yes, yes.
just like the character. So your light will,
Okay.
it'll be further back so that it can hit the trees. Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
So
yes.
kind of like a warm light. And then on the opposite side, just like the reference, you
Jay
see how,
said, hi, I am new here,
Mm-hmm.
so the app will only be online in Q1?
Yeah.
yeah, you see that there. So try and get that on the trees as well. That cool light on the right side.
It's a cool tone. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Get it. No.
Yeah, so right now it feels, I guess the intention is that we can get a bit more contrast, because right now it feels quite
Mm.
flat. So the lighting's quite even, except for maybe this highlight here. We want to get to a point where, it's called, so the term is a key to fill ratio. So the higher the
Okay.
ratio, the more contrast you get. So, so the key, you can look that up, key to fill ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So the higher the key to fill ratio, the brighter this will be. And the darker the fill will be. So that's the key.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the fill. Yeah. So this looks like it's maybe a 3-to-1.
Bond Christina replied to Jay.
Oh, wow.
What help
Okay.
do you need, Jay?
So it's, the key's 3 times brighter than the fill.
Yeah.
So that's what we want here. We want to increase the key to fill ratio on your image. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
All right.
Ed
Thank
replied
you.
to Jay.
Yes.
They've said
Yeah.
public
It
release
does. It
Q1, yes,
does.
thumbs up.
Great. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Jenty. Let's see. What else? I might just go on to the other
Jay
projects.
replied to Bond Christina was thinking if QETH and QSD is available now.
Okay, so the Mies, this is
Jay
your
replied to Ed, cool, thank you.
Thanks
Just
for your
want to
update.
confirm.
So I see that you've got the
Bond Christina said yes, I got mine already.
first thing you did was increase, get the camera angle lining up a bit more closely, which is great. And I can see that you've added like a headlights key, which is matching the reference better. And also you've put in like a warm top light down through the umbrella onto the monster. And that seems to be working better as well. So it's definitely looking, it's bringing it a lot closer to the reference than your first iteration. So well done. I'm wondering though whether you could go further with getting some more bounce onto the character. So whether you could, let's see if this works. Yeah, just add in the bounce on this side as well. I see that you've begun to put in a light there, but maybe you could add an extra light that hits the ground and bounces off onto the character, just so we get, this quality that we get in the reference. So we're getting that bounce on the underside. We're getting it from this headlight here and this kind of warm top light here. So I see that you've got top light, side key, headlight, and I think you just need to work on, illuminating this area down here so that it'll throw light back onto the character like that. Yeah, see how you go. You see how, and also if you look at this reference, you see that there is some sort of light illuminating the road here. I feel that could be missing from yours, and that might be the key to getting that extra bounce onto your character. Okay, thanks very much. All right, and Maryam, I don't know if you're here. but I think you you were asking whether you could push it any further. I really like the updates and how we're starting to really read a lot more shape on the character from the key to the fill side. So we're getting that contrast in on her legs and arms. I'm wondering though whether on her face it does still feel a little bit overlit and overfilled, and whether you could take down I feel like maybe if there's a fill light on this side, whether that could go down. So maybe turn into that fill just so we get a little bit more shaping on her. And I see you've got some dust particles in the light there. That's looking pretty cool. And the other thing I would suggest is maybe work on the reflections in her glasses on this side. You know, put in some glints or some flares so that we read the lens through the reflection. You can see it happening a little bit here. But yeah, so maybe some more reflection in her glasses. And take down the fill on her face so it's not as overlit. And that would be it. All right. And then also we have Chris. Let me just pull up your first iteration from last week. Okay. So I see you've played with the Atmo. It's really foggy. It's dark and misty. It's very atmospheric, and you know, you've done well to get the volume in there. And I'm wondering though whether you could definitely tone it down. So I would recommend localizing that volume fog so that it reads more, you know, where this is great, this volume coming out onto the road there. Looks really nice. And here, and also you've got an opportunity to have this kind of volume shaft coming down here. Yeah, whether you could just localize it to that and the rest could go pretty dark, you know. The rest could go darker. Like that. As far as the lighting goes, can see that you've added the light in the back window there, and that's starting to feel like the reference. And it would be great if you could have a go at maybe bringing some of that light that you had back here. And it could just be because it's being lost in the volume. But if you could, bring that, some of that light back, just so it reads, there's a bit more contrast in the read, because I feel like we're getting a little bit lost in the fog here. So, punch out some of that light back here, Let's see whether this works, whether I can just use the eraser. Where's that eraser? Okay. Okay, this may or may not work, but okay, kind of. Just at moments where there's a light source, just have it kind of punch back through. And again, it's probably a function of the controlling that volume so that it's less dense. But I like where it's heading, so definitely on the right track. Alrighty, see how you go with that. All right, thanks, Chris. Is anybody else here that has anything else to show or want me to comment on? I think if not, then I think that might be it for this week. Yep. Alrighty, so I think we'll call it this point, and thank you for tuning in. I've really enjoyed looking at your work this month. So yeah, I look forward to seeing any updates you have between now and October 31st, which is in about 3 days' time. So send stuff in, when you've got something. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for tuning in. It's really inspiring looking at your work. So thank you. All right. And I'll see you next time.
Yes, have a good weekend.
You too. Bye now.